Yo, you see it. Hold on, just in case you see it. Yes, oh, wait. You see it. Yes, that good old premium. No cap. Had to fucking get it. Tired of the ads, bro. No cap. And yeah, we definitely gonna keep this shit. No cap. I'm tired of ads. Don't like them. Y'all don't like them, sure. But yeah, man. Got that man Jimmy High Roller. NBA myths we all thought were true. Got that man MJ behind me. Behind me. Yeah, it's a young MJ. Uh, yeah, there. Let's go ahead and jump right into the motherfucking video.
In 1985, a rookie Michael Jordan
Oops,
entered the
oh,
NBA Slam Dunk Contest. At the time, he was only a few months into his NBA career, but MJ already had millions of fans in the palm of his hand. Michael was the future, and everyone knew it. And to pay homage to his childhood idol Julius Erving, Michael pulled off a dunk that would inevitably become his trademark. A dunk from the free throw line. And on his very first attempt, Michael pulled it off.
I could probably do that.
Gravity-defying dunk. Fans were amazed.
I just never tried
Judges were impressed. And Michael Jordan came in second. And he took that personally. So 2 years later in 1987, Michael Jordan made his return to the dunk contest, and this time, he put it all on the table. With one of the greatest dunk contest performances in NBA history, MJ went home as the NBA dunk contest champion.
That shit is actually crazy, bro.
Arguably the most iconic dunk in basketball history.
Back in the day, bro, NBA players were so fucking athletic when it came to bounce, bro. Like niggas nowadays, like Ja Morant, fucking what's in that Derrick Jones dude, bro. Them some explosive ass niggas, but like back in the day, bro, like Wilt Chamberlain and all of them, bro. Like look at that shit. Like nobody's recreated this. Giannis tried it.
Like any that came before it. To this day, when most players do free throw line dunks, they really have to reach and strain themselves to get the ball to the hoop. But what MJ did in '87 was graceful. It was effortless. It looked like the man was literally floating. When fans saw this dunk, they no longer thought MJ was some
greatest
sort
of all time, man.
Sorcerer who figured out how to levitate in midair. They were certain of it.
Bro, like look at that shit, bro. Nobody in this era is doing that shit. None of this.
Just hang in the air was almost too good to be true. And that's because it wasn't true. Not the jumping.
Hey man, thank you Michael Jordan, bro, for them 6 rings you put in our fucking franchise
even for a fraction of a second.
Franchise trophy case. Fuck, almost spazzed out.
Back in 2007, a show concept of for an athlete to hang in midair, even for a fraction of a second. The concept of an athlete's hang time is a myth. Back in 2007, a show called Sports Science paired up with former NBA player Jordan Farmar to test the theory of hang time. At the time, Jordan had a vertical leap of 42 inches, and they put this vertical to the test by attaching trackers to his body and pressure-sensitive insoles into his shoes to measure his jumps. And what they found was that no matter where he jumped from, no matter how high he jumped, and no matter how he maneuvered his body in the air, his ascent was always exactly the same amount of time as his descent, with no pause or stall or hang time in between. When you see a player who seems to be hanging in midair, what you're really seeing is actually a bit of an illusion.
While mid-flight body contortions cannot affect their overall flight, when elite players like Michael Jordan begin their descent, their body stretches, which keeps their head moving horizontally for an extra split second. This creates the optical illusion of prolonged hang time.
Because he said when you do that, your body stretches. So does that mean like everybody can stretch? Like Mr. Fantastic? Maybe that's how he finished the dunk. His body stretched. Like he stretched his arm like Mr. Fantastic.
Just how devastated I was when I watched this episode of Sports Science as a kid. This is unbelievable. Next thing you know, someone's gonna tell me Michael Jordan didn't actually stretch out his arm 25 feet to score a last-second bucket to defeat the Monstars.
See, that might, bro.
You can't ignore the facts.
That might be real, bro.
As great as this dunk was, it wasn't great enough to defy the laws of physics, and the concept of hang time was all just a myth. Just like many other narratives and concepts within the NBA,
man, Kareem and Larry Bird, Larry the Legend.
Today's video is sponsored by Keeps. keeps
Sorry, Jimmy, but
keeps off typical needs of get award win hair loss /com. For 75-year history of the NBA, there have been Throughout the 75-year history of the NBA, there have been some incredible stories. Stuff that is so incredible that it sounds mythical.
yes,
That's
sir.
because it is. When an old
That
tale
man
or
Spud Webb.
exaggerated recollection of events takes hold within NBA
Derrick
fandom,
Rose,
it
Magic
virtually
Johnson,
becomes a matter of
Larry the
fact.
Legend,
But today, we are
Shaquille,
going to find the truth behind some of
Vince,
these myths. Now, growing up,
Vinsanity.
years ago, it was just a matter of fact that Larry
Yes,
Bird was the greatest
all
three-point
these
shooter of
legends,
all
boy.
time. We all knew it, and we'd all heard the stories from those who watched.
I ain't gonna
the
lie. I
league
wish I
play.
was. I wish I was born in this era. I just don't want to be old. Like I wish I had a time machine. I wish I had a time machine. But I wish I could go back and actually watch these dudes play,
And the
bro.
dude won
Like
3 straight three-point
I want to
contests,
watch Wilt's
including one where he
100-point game.
didn't
I want to
even
watch
take his
all
arm
11
off.
of Bill
And to
Russell's
this
rings,
day, some fans will attest that
championships.
Larry Bird is
I
still
definitely
one
want
of the
to
greatest three-point
watch
shooters of
Michael
all time,
Jordan's
most
repeats,
agreeing that he's top 3. Steph,
the
Ray
flu
Allen,
game.
and Larry Bird. But this, my friends, is a myth. For his time, Larry Bird was an excellent three-point shooter. But fast forward 35 years, and there have been dozens and dozens of players who have surpassed Bird in his shooting.
Sheesh.
Check this out. Here's a chart of the best three-point shooters of all time. The further right a player is, the more efficient they were. And the higher up,
Steph Curry,
the more threes that player
D.
made
Lil,
each game. All the way at the
Buddy
top
Hield.
is,
Yes,
of course, Stephen Curry on his own planet.
And
then
then
you
Klay
have
Thompson,
Buddy Hield, Damian Lillard,
James Harden,
This list
Paul
includes
George.
hundreds of players
Crazy.
since the
Paul
three-point
George up
line
there
was
too.
added to the NBA. And all the way down here is Larry Bird. Now,
Damn.
of course, Bird played in an era where players shot far less threes, and for his time, he was one of the best long-range shooters. But times have changed, drastically. Sure, if Bird played in today's league, he would practice shooting more threes, he'd play in a system that valued the three-pointer more, and he would have simply shot more threes. But Larry Bird doesn't play in today's league, and just based off the facts, there are countless players that are
Bro, like
simply better
imagine if we
three-point
didn't
shooters
age,
than
bro. Like Super Saiyans, like how they don't age, like Goku is like 1,000 years old type shit. Like imagine if we didn't age and people like Larry Bird, Bill Russell, Shaq, Kobe, R.I.P. Man, may his soul rest in peace. May his daughter rest in peace, and everybody else in the plane accident, may they all rest in peace. And like all of the older NBA players, bro. What if they was still in the
This
league, bro?
next
That should
myth
be
is one
dope
that
as
has
fuck.
ran rampant over the last few years. And quite frankly, I'm sick of it. Every offseason, NBA fans all over social media lose their minds over Instagram and Twitter videos of NBA players who've improved their game, specifically their shooting. Every summer, clips of NBA players not missing a shot or going berserk in a training session go viral, and
Westbrook.
immediately fans believe these players have revolutionized their entire game. If I have to watch one more video of Ben Simmons sinking 8 straight three-pointers in an empty gym and then reading comments about how he's got a three-point shot now, I think I'm gonna lose my mind.
Bro,
Don't
that's
get me wrong.
I'm sorry for pausing. I know I'm pausing a lot. But that's what I'm saying though. Like number one, Ben Simmons sold the fucking playoffs. Like Hall of Fame sellout. Everybody keep trying to put it on KD. I'm putting it on Ben Simmons. Why the fuck are you not playing? Second, bro, this man will shoot 1 for 4,000 in the fucking regular season, and then go into the off season and shoot fucking 1,000 for 1,000. Like my nigga, like what the fuck? How the fuck does that work, bro?
Back when these off-season videos
Like,
first
are you
began
scared to
surface
shoot?
years ago, some of
Like
these
you got
players had
fucking
before.
Dwight Howard,
Andre
big
Drummond's got
ass,
his free throws down.
hitting threes.
Some player added 15 pounds of muscle in the offseason and their game has completely
Lance
transformed.
Stevenson.
Ben Simmons can now shoot the three ball.
Bro, like that's what I'm saying. Like what the fuck?
You want to know why Ben Simmons is drilling threes like he's Stephen Curry's long-lost brother in these off-season clips? Because he's in an empty gym with zero pressure and piss-poor defense or literally no defense on him at all. 99% of NBA players knock down damn near every shot they take in practice. They are all automatic in open runs against players you've never heard of. And time again, we are shown that these off-season clips
This man
do
Dwight
not
is
translate
fucking
to the NBA
huge,
season.
bro.
I think Lonzo Ball may be the only player in
Lonzo.
recent history to actually vastly improve his shot over the course of one offseason. We have got to stop taking these off-season clips so seriously. It's just practice. Every NBA player looks like a god when they're getting open shots. And no,
Ooh.
Ben Simmons cannot shoot the three despite the 30-second shooting clinic he posted on his Instagram. Now, the average height of an NBA player is 6'7" tall, which is really, really tall. In fact,
Facts.
the average NBA player
That's a
is
whole foot taller than me, bro.
99.99% of all males in the United States. That means, on average, if you gathered 1,000 random men, odds are only one of them will be as tall as the average NBA player. And knowing this, it kind of blows my mind when people say you don't need to be tall to play in the NBA. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a myth. Take me, for example. I'm 6'1", and being around basketball my entire life, I've never considered myself to be tall by any...
That's crazy. So if you gather 1,000 people, only one of them will be the same height as an actual NBA player, or average height of an NBA player.
stretch of the
Crazy.
imagination. But generally speaking, I'm still taller than about 93% of men within the United States. Now, out of the 590
I'm
players
way back
currently
there.
active in the NBA, take a wild guess at how many of them are my height or shorter. 40. There are 40 players in the entire NBA that are 6 feet 1 inches tall or shorter, which means I quickly go from being taller than about 93% of men in the general population to taller than just 2% of players in the NBA. But
Say
it gets
6.
worse, because the average height for a male in the US is 5'9", which means that an average sized man would literally be the shortest player in the NBA. But
So
he
I'm
wouldn't be the
slightly
shortest
below
player
average.
in NBA history. Of the 3,500 players to ever play a game in the modern NBA, only 11 of them were 5'9" or shorter. That's 0.6%.
See, and you got like
less
Spud
than
Webb.
half of 1% of all NBA players since 1977.
How tall
have
was
been
Allen
average
Iverson?
in stature. Look at how minuscule Nate Robinson looks against most.
Yeah,
NBA
Nate
players.
Robinson. I
The
forgot
man is
about Nate
5'9".
Robinson.
This
He really
is
fell
what
off
an
after he
average
got
guy would look like
fucking
in
knocked the
NBA.
fuck out by
As if the
whatchamacallit.
astronomical chances of making it to the league weren't difficult enough. Not being tall makes this immense goal next to impossible.
Dang.
So yes, you do need to be tall to play in the NBA. Well,
Yes,
either
sir.
that or be an
And he was like
absolute
5'4".
anomaly of an athlete. You know, an athlete like Spud Webb or Nate Robinson or Michael Jordan. Except Michael Jordan wasn't only a freak athlete. He was also 6'6", a combination of attributes and physical gifts that eventually made him the greatest basketball player of all time. And decades after Jordan's retirement from the game, his legend continues to grow. The man went 6-0 in the finals throughout his career, but many say that if he didn't retire the first time in 1993, Michael and the Bulls would have won 8 straight championships. But this is a massive myth. You see, that's impossible, because Jordan did lose in the playoffs to the Orlando Magic. Not in the finals, not in the conference finals, but in the second round of the playoffs. So there's really no need to theorize if the Bulls would have won 8 straight titles, since we literally saw Michael and the Bulls lose right in the middle of their decade-long run. And I know what some of you are thinking. When Michael returned to the NBA in 1995, he wasn't in basketball shape, and he didn't have enough time to get reacclimated to playing basketball by the time the playoffs came around. And although there's some truth to this, I'd be more inclined to agree if MJ didn't average 31, 7, and 5 a game against Orlando in that series. In fact, MJ had better numbers in the playoffs right after his return in 1995 than he had in the following season after being back for a season and a half. People act like he was a shell of himself in his return, when in reality he was about 95% himself in those playoffs.
See, and that
The
makes
truth is,
sense, bro.
After losing Horace Grant in the 94 offseason, the Bulls struggled against teams with prolific big men. And when the Bulls met a prime Shaquille O'Neal and the Magic in the playoffs, this weakness was put on full display in a 6-game series. Even if the Bulls made it past Orlando, they would have had to go through the Knicks, who were just as deep in the front court. And eventually, they would have had to face the Rockets, who were the most complete team in the league that season, with one of the greatest
Yes,
big men of
sir.
all time. Even if the Bulls had Michael in 94 and the entirety of the 95 season, they just didn't have the roster to outmatch some of the other teams at the time. Not to mention that time...
Bro, like, see, I wish I would have been
We've
able to
shown that winning
see
multiple
this shit, like,
championships
in
a row has
person,
massive
bro.
effects on teams. Between
That man,
injuries,
Shitty Pierce.
contracts, and player retention, winning championships isn't as simple as
Flash,
just having the talent. The Warriors
Aristotle,
assembled the damn Justice
Chef,
League for a few seasons, and they still couldn't win
Andre,
3 in a row.
the Claw,
Kobe and Shaq were
yes,
the best duo in
Bean,
league history, but after
Aristotle,
3
and
they just
Magic.
couldn't replicate the magic they once had. I'd even go as far as saying Michael Jordan retiring in '93 was the best thing he could have done for his legacy. By the time he came back, he was rejuvenated, he was motivated, and the Bulls had made the necessary offseason moves to make them the overwhelming
Yes, sir. That man Rodman.
So the next time you hear
Scotty.
a crazy story or some stat
The
that sounds
fabulous
too good to be
three.
true, it's probably because it isn't true. When a player reaches greatness, he becomes the man, the myth,
The
and
legend.
You just gotta know which is which. Hope you all enjoyed.
I
As
definitely
always,
enjoyed that.
until
That was a very informative video. Gives some great history.
next time.
My favorite team actually. But yeah. Hey man, comment down below what you think, man. Like who's the best? Who do you think is the greatest basketball player of all time and why? And what is the NBA myth that you think is, present that's a myth? But yeah, man, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Y'all already know what to do, Brody. And we up off this thing. Because I'm gonna go to sleep. I don't have work tomorrow either, so I get to sleep in.